Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Eric.
I'm your host, Dominic.
We are currently on episode 147, and we have Alec with Pinned. They believe that life should be fun and golf should be no different. Their mission is simple: to make golf more enjoyable by helping you play better. Make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. Their user handle is @PinnedGolf. That's PINNEDGOLF. Alec, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us on the podcast, man.
Gents, appreciate you having me. How we doing?
Good, man. Let's just dive right into it.
Well, I think we have to give a shout out
Yeah, we can give a quick shout out.
to Duff Daddy, Brendan.
Brendan. Yep, appreciate that.
I would shout out Brian, but he wasn't here. Thanks,
Yeah.
Brian.
But so you're out of Boston, that area. Can you just kind of give us the backstory? When did you start pinned golf?
Yeah, for sure. So started back in 2018. So like you mentioned, in Boston, grew up in a small town in Connecticut called West Hartford. Went to school up in sort of the greater Boston, Worcester area, and then moved up here to the greater Boston area full time back in 2015, almost 2016. Then started Pin shortly after. I met one of my co-founders at college. We became buddies in sort of a small business entrepreneur class. And then I met my other co-founder at our first day job out of school. So we were cold calling, telecom, just calling into businesses, VPs of IT, CIOs, just cold calling, cold email, and banging our heads against phones. And we bonded over we sat next to each other and we bonded over always knowing that we wanted to start our own business. So we would kind of just shoot the shit about ideas and say, yo, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? But like we always found ourselves going playing golf after work. So also bonded over that. And then one day I brought him the idea of just, hey, what do you think about this? And fast forward 6 years and here we are.
So that's kind of cool. Like that's similar to like Derek and I's story is neither of us can do math. So we were in like a very low level community college math. And we actually bonded by DraftKings. We would do like $1 games against each other.
Yeah.
He smoked the shit out of me.
I'm rich, dude. I
Yeah,
I got like at least 10 to 15 bucks in the account right
like
now.
crazy. And then he's like, "You play golf?" I'm like, "Kind of. Like I have clubs." And he's like, "Let's go play golf." And then we played golf for a long time. And then I think as we were leaving, he's like, "Hey, I have an idea." And I'm like, "This is not going to be good, but let's like, let's hear it." He goes, "You're opinionated." And I was like, "I am." And he goes, "And you'll die on that hill." I was like, "Damn right. If it's my opinion, it's right." And he goes, "We should do a podcast." And then COVID hit. And I was like, I remember texting you. I'm like, "We still doing this podcast thing?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm down." And then I was like, "Well, I'll get the Instagram. That way it's like nobody's gonna steal our idea." And then everybody stole our idea, but we do it differently. So it was nice to hear like how how you and your buddies bonded in college, played golf, and then bam, you have this business because that's essentially what Derek and I have. But we don't call this a business.
Yeah,
more of a hobby.
Yeah, kind of a side. I wouldn't say a side hustle because it's not really.
We're not making money.
Yeah, and say it's more of just we like to use the platform to really help companies. We love listening to entrepreneurs, business owners, just companies, kind of like where they started and where they're at now, and that's why we like to use this platform. So
yeah, it's fun. And I love talking about that stuff. So
yeah,
it's been my dream to start my own company and grow it to where, I mean, not where we are today. We still got a long way to go, but we're definitely on the journey and we're enjoying every step of the way.
So at what point did you decide to start? I mean, obviously you're like, "Hey, let's start this company." At what point did you decide to do it as a rangefinder versus like an apparel or like a golf club company, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like at what point did you guys make that turn?
Yeah, no, great question. So the original idea was to buy a lot of rangefinders wholesale from overseas and then sort of rent them out to golf courses across the country. And then they in turn rent them to golfers for rounds, right? You think up here in Boston and even in Minnesota where you guys are, right? Like you only have, I mean, we have like 6 months to play if we're lucky, right? So courses we figured, oh, they'd be trying to nickel and dime and bring in any sort of revenue stream that they possibly could during those 6 months, right? Like let's ring the register as much as physically possible. But what we soon realized, we bought our first batch and we started cold calling and emailing, trying to get into a lot of these shops. Like we built out a model, we did all of this stuff. a lot of data to present them. And what we realized was cold calling during the day sucked. And then trying to come home and do it at night too, to Bill, who's been sitting behind the cash register at a local muni for the last 50 years. Like, he didn't want to hear me say, hey, here's my new rangefinder rental program. You guys want to join? Like, it wasn't working. So that's when we quickly turned to selling direct to consumer. But I mean, why was it rangefinders? Realistically, we just kind of stumbled upon it because we were like, well, this is a rentable piece of technology that we can get for a relatively cheap price. And if we can rent it to a number of courses, like, we break even pretty quickly on it. So apparel, we didn't know much about, not that we knew anything about rangefinders, but it was a lot out there. And like I said, we didn't envision this to be a D2C brand. We didn't know anything about D2C. All we knew is selling B2B, and that's what we were trying to do. But then quickly, when that didn't work, we were like, all right, well, shit, we have all these rangefinders. Like, what do we do with all of them? And then we started selling them online, and the rest is history.
Who came up with the name Pinned? I love the name.
Well, me and my co-founders will go back and forth on it, but it was me.
You're on the podcast, so you did it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll take the credit.
Yeah.
No, it was me. I mean, we just had like a big whiteboarding session one Saturday where we were all just kind of hanging out, drinking some beers, having fun, just writing a bunch of stuff on a whiteboard, and landed on that eventually. So yeah, I think it's a great name.
I've been golfing probably a decade now. I've never thought of renting a rangefinder.
No, it's actually a really cool
That's
concept.
genius.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a really cool
like
concept.
I know it didn't work, but like that concept is smart because I never had a rangefinder until this year. Like, I've never been like, oh man, I really need one of these things in my bag.
And now you
I've never
can't
thought about
it.
like, damn, I wonder if I could rent one.
But it makes a huge difference when you do have one, right? And that's I
Oh yeah.
think so that was gonna be like kind of like transition to my next question. Like, was there a specific gap like in the market you were trying to address? Like for me, I was kind of the same, but I played golf for quite a while now, and I know golf carts have GPS in them. Not every cart. Obviously, depends on which course you're going to. You're going to a local muni, odds are you're not.
You ever play the ponds?
Yeah.
They have one.
They do now? Yeah, they didn't have
Yeah.
one before.
So the funny part, so sidetrack, I get off topic a lot, ADD,
I love it.
but I was playing around with the pin finder, and we have like an unofficial third guy. His name's Chaz. I was playing with Chaz and his fiance, and my card had GPS in it, and this is not like a super nice course. Somebody cut the line on theirs.
Really?
So they're like,
They don't have it.
wait, I'm looking up like at my card, and they're like, Dom, what are you looking at? I'm like, I have a GPS, and they go, our screen's black. I'm like,
People,
Uh,
I'm
man.
like, you live on this course. Like, you should like this is where your
yeah.
money goes. And they're like, I don't know, man.
Right?
Oh, that was funny.
But yeah, so I think it is important because like you realize you go to a muni, you don't have a GPS, and I think or a rangefinder, and I think it can make all the difference from being a not saying like a super competitive or a really good golfer, but it can really improve your
It can
strokes,
definitely
right?
take you from that guy who shoots in the 90s to
Yeah.
like breaking 90.
Right.
Oh
Shooting
yeah.
mid 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not like you're not gonna go from like 91 to like 85. If you do, holy shit, congrats.
Yeah.
But I feel like, if you're like, hey, I can shoot 90, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, now I know my distance. You can shoot 87.
Yeah, it just makes things a lot
Yeah.
easier using
Oh,
which club you want to use.
100%. I mean, I never had one playing in all of my golf either growing up, right? Like, never had one until I actually started the company, and then we have tons now. So, but like, I don't think I could ever play. Like, when I forget it at home, I feel naked, right? Like, it's a great luxury that's quickly becoming a necessity though. Cause like you guys said, getting dialed in and knowing your distance will drastically help your score,
For
right? Like,
sure.
it's just confidence standing over. It's not like walking off yardages of a sprinkler head that was put there 20 years ago before they changed the greens, and now it's farther back and yada yada yada, right? Like, it's actually line of sight, point A to point B, and ours has slope too, so that helps drastically also. So but yeah, I guess, like, going back to the question of, was there a gap in the market that we saw that we sort of wanted to go after? I mean, originally it was when we came to run direct to consumer, it was just like, okay, well, all these things are 400, 500, $600, right? Like, we're 2, 3 years out of college. Like, I can't even think about spending 400, 500, $600 on one of those big name brands, right? Like, that's just between all the expenses that I have living on my own for the first time, that was just like completely out of the question. So price point was really our sort of entry into the market. And as we've progressed as a company and grown as a company, we've just seen little gaps here and there, whether it's the different colors or whether it's the display color or the screen or the magnet case. I mean, there's small little nuances that we've honed in on that have just helped us form what we have today and meet what we call the best rangefinder that we've ever put out.
So I'm glad you brought up kind of like the colors and everything. There's what, six, seven,
There's 8 now.
eight? Because you just dropped the camo, right?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
camo's sick. I'm still a little sad I didn't get the pink one.
Good ass.
I didn't know I could. Like I'm like I don't want to
I
be like I
I
don't
love mine.
but I'm like I don't want to be greedy. Um
Yeah, yeah.
but like yeah, I love the colors. I love that it's like a very fun way to make it yours.
Not just like you're like white and black. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's like hey, this is a little bit my personality
Yeah.
on my rangefinder, right? So there's red, blue, green, black, white, pink, camo, and then you had the red, white, and blue one.
American flag. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess people like wear like loud polos, so like why not wear a loud rangefinder, right?
Well, and that's exactly what we sat down and thought of. We were just like, again, I'm not comparing myself to Apple by any means, but like you look at Apple and their different colored iPhones and different colored products and stuff like that. We're like, okay, well, if Apple can do it, we're obviously buying a substantially smaller amount of quantities, but like if they can make tech different colors, so can we. And then you look in the golf industry too, it's like polos, bags, shoes, hats, head covers, everything was sort of getting splashed with this customizable, fresh, loud colors and patterns. And we were just like, well, there's no reason that you can't a rangefinder or technology golf tech can't have that same sort of flair and that same sort of pop. And that's been one of the bigger reasons is that we've been able to grow so quickly when we came out with the colors that people just love it. Like you said, people customize it to their bag, to their clubs. Like it's cool.
I love that you mentioned the
Well,
Apple.
I have a pink bag and pink clubs, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get you a pink one.
and like you're and like if you think I'm kidding, I promise you my bag is black and pink, and then my clubs have pink banded on the ferrules.
Oh, the Ferals, yeah. He does, yeah.
Like
They're sweet. But it's funny, like I feel like we're on the same wavelength because I literally like you talked about Apple and like that was the one thing that
so you shipped them all to me, right? I gave them to Derek and he unboxed it. He's like, dude, it's like unboxing like an iPhone.
as a
Well,
compliment.
I
Like
mean,
I feel like it's
Like
yeah,
it's so
yeah,
simplistic and clean, but like it's also elegant.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, they're the best company in the world for a reason, right? Like they're just the products that they put out, and I'd be lying to sit here and say like we thought of the designs all by ourselves and we thought of like the minimalistic and everything like that, right? Like they are the best, biggest, and best consumer product company in the history of the world. So it's like, okay, well, if we can sort of mimic a little bit of that and come out with a product that is somewhat relatable with the packaging and stuff like that. Like we spent a ton of time on the packaging and getting samples and making sure that the sleeve and the box and the magnet close and all of that was just like top of the line because again, even though you are buying, it's a more affordable rangefinder, like you still want it to be and feel high quality. And that's
For
exactly what
sure.
it is.
And I'm glad you said more affordable and not cheaper.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Day to day, I'm an area manager. I work in sales, not like Derek sales, but like I work for like a running company. And the one thing I always teach my staff not to say is cheap. Because if you say, hey, this product is cheaper than that product, the
Right off the
customer
bat.
may go, hey, I understand to have a price, but it's like the other customer may also be like, well, if that product's cheaper, that's,
Quality is cheaper.
quality's worse.
Yeah.
There's
Oh
nothing
yeah.
about the Prism Plus that is cheap, right? Like the case is nice, the carabiner's nice, even down to like the cleaning cloth. Like as somebody who wears glasses all day, a good cleaning cloth goes a long way. And there's nothing cheap. I think it is very affordable, and that is what kind of drew me to you guys is the fact that you're getting a very quality rangefinder, you're getting a really nice magnetic case with a carabiner and all of the works for like 260. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that you say more affordable versus cheap, because cheap has that kind of connotation of, wow, this
Yeah.
product is not going to hold up very well.
What
Yeah.
like from start to finish, like so I know is this technically like your fifth generation or fifth model that you've created?
So yeah, so it went the Pearl, the Blackjack, the Ace, the Prism Plus. Yeah, so this is our
Okay.
fifth.
So like when you first started, like what is could you kind of just maybe walk us just a quick sum up like what the process is like because you've obviously put a lot of thorough research into the boxing part. So like how long did it really take you to fully develop that rangefinder? Really, okay, this is the one and I feel comfortable putting it on the market.
Yeah. I mean, a long time, like not years, but like definitely a handful of months, right? Because it was still a side hustle too. And I mean,
Yeah,
they don't teach you at least when I went to school, they didn't teach you how to reach out to Chinese manufacturers, get samples, get new molds made, sort of do any of the process that it actually entails to get a product from a drawing to fully made. So like that was just a ton of trial and error over the first handful of months to get a product that we originally liked, and we came out with it was just sort of like a proof of concept of like, hey, you know what? Well, one, we're trying to sell these things B2B, but two, like we just want to see if people are interested in a more affordable rangefinder. And once we had the success with that, we were like, all right, like we have to take it up another level and like start working with designers and like have 3D CAD models made and 3D prints made and see how it feels in the hand and all of that stuff. So like that's just been a trial and error since day one.
okay.
Because like they don't teach you that stuff. Like you can watch as
There's no
many YouTube.
manual really.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could
Yeah,
watch as many YouTube videos as you can, and that's exactly what we did and read Twitter and all of that stuff. But like at the end of the day, it's just trial and error. And I mean, we had no idea what we were doing in the beginning. Like we were
sure.
wasting so much money on just bad samples, working with bad manufacturers. Like the products we were getting were cheap, and I mean that's how you learn.
Yeah. Have you ever read Shoe Dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of weird. It's like
like,
right there.
Oh,
I mean,
I thought you
it's
were going to be
literally
like,
my
dude, I'm
favorite book.
sitting on mine or
No,
something.
yeah, no, it's actually right here. It's right, yeah, right there. But
Yeah,
it
it's
kind
my
of
favorite.
reminded me.
Yeah, right when we first started this, that I read that and it was like it's my favorite book because it was so relatable. It's like him
Yes.
going over there for the first time. I haven't been over there quite yet. It's on the list of things to do relatively soon. But yeah, it was so relatable and cool to hear that journey.
I love it. Yeah, because it is. It's like you kind of just you go for it, and then you just kind of learn how to adapt or pivot
Oh
from
yeah. I
So
say it all the time. And so to this day, right? We're building the plane as we fly it. Like we every single day is something new, and that's the
part of it.
beauty of being an entrepreneur and just doing your own thing is like you don't know. Like I wake up tomorrow and there could be 10 fires that weren't anywhere near lit today that just take my attention tomorrow, and that's all I focus on. So
Here.
it's just that's what I love about it.
So it's three of you that kind of run that started the company, kind of
Yep.
correct? Are you all three still involved? Like, do you guys have
Yeah.
your own roles, or how does it work as far as like, is there one that's doing all the social media content? How do you guys divide that up?
Yeah. Yeah, so we definitely have divided and conquered over the last couple of years. So I do a lot of our marketing, so social media, email. We just brought on, well, just almost a year now, our marketing manager who helps me with a lot of the social media, um, emails,
Sure.
influencers, things of all of that nature. So shout out P. My business partner John handles like a lot of our finances and operations and just sort of the back end, making sure the house is clean and making sure everything's in order. And then my other business partner Buck handles a lot of our wholesale accounts and our B2B like green grass business. And we have like a sales force of 45 independent outside reps that help us get into pro shops. So he manages and works hand in hand with all of them.
That's awesome.
I had this dream once, and you and I were in it. We started our own, I promise. We started our own business. And you know how he listed off, like, hey, this guy does this, this.
Yeah.
We didn't have a person to do math or money, so we failed.
It was a dream. That's all. It was just a dream. That's why.
Because it's like
Yeah.
you could do the wholesaling, because that's essentially what you do now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You
I
know,
deal with a lot of, the whole
well, yeah,
customers.
but
I
like
mean, you too, but yeah.
well, no, not to the same extent.
Yeah.
But it's like
I,
neither of us can do math.
I always say so. I work in the commercial roofing industry, and it's like there's a lot of estimating, and they're called estimators for a reason, and not
Yeah.
exactimators because so that's kind of the cliche saying, which
Yeah.
fits my mold.
There was a day that my POS system at one of the stores broke, and they had me write down every sale by hand and calculate
Oh,
the tax
jeez.
by hand.
Oh,
We lost $100. I can't do math.
Hey, that's pretty good then. Only
yeah,
100.
that's actually not bad. $100
Well, and like
for
tax is different on every
sale,
thing.
Oh,
It's like obviously here there's no tax on like clothing
apparel,
and
and shoes.
like
yeah.
shoes, but it's like congrats, the tax on like this microphone is different than like the tax on your cell phone.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, ah shit. So I gave basically I'm like, cool, everything is taxable at this amount and we lost money. And I was like, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny's our numbers guy. And he was in, we were all, three of us were all in tech sales. So he had to like dust off his accounting to book from college, just like try to make sure he was debiting things right, crediting things right, like making sure he was closing the books properly and all of that. But now we have bookkeepers and things of that nature. But
Yeah.
he's
Shout out
definitely
him.
because
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
We would be
not
audited
yeah.
like crazy.
We'd be out of it and we'd be out of a job.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be like, who does your numbers? And it's like me in the corner, just like oh my
Don't you think the mass style with the freaking just can you tell us a little bit about the rangefinder trade-in program?
Yeah, for sure. So we started it 2 years ago now, and we are working with the First Tee, so their corporate chapter, and they've just been a great partner for us. We growing up, three of us have always had sort of a philanthropic gene to us, whether it was just sort of doing like community work at school or growing up or anything along those lines. So um, we sort of brainstormed this idea and just went with it. So it's essentially just you send us any old rangefinder that you have, doesn't matter the brand, as long as it's working and we can donate it to someone that they can use, then that's great. And we'll refurbish it, kind of clean it up, stick it in a new case, and then send it to First Tee chapters all across the country. So we've been working with them for 2 years. The feedback's been great. I mean, it's a way to get rangefinders in the hands of kids who might not have the ability to use a rangefinder. And like we were talking about before, right? Especially at that age, where if you can figure out how far you hit the ball and get dialed in a distance at that age, like that can only help you in the long run, right? Like I think we could all sit here. I don't know how long you guys have played golf, but like I wish I was taking it seriously earlier on in my life. Now that now it's my full-time job also, but like even besides then, right? Like I wish I took it more seriously back then. And the First Tee's been a great partner of ours. They have been super supportive in sort of this program, and we don't see it stopping anytime soon. I think it's only going to continue to build steam, and it's just going to continue to flourish because it really is truly a great program.
It's really cool. Yeah, I like that. I saw that online. So, and can you get like a discount? Was there like a discount?
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is a
Yeah.
discount.
yeah. I guess I left that part out. Yeah. So if you donate your old rangefinder, we essentially give you a discount on a Prism Plus. So you get a substantial discount on a Prism Plus, the biggest discount that we have out there. And yeah, it's for a good cause, and we just as a sign of thanks, we just give you a nice little discount.
Sure. That's really cool. So when did you get into like the speakers then? Did you guys have the rangefinders for a while? And you're like, okay, I kind of want to just venture off into a different product. Can you tell us a little bit about the
Yeah.
speakers?
Yeah, for sure. The speakers just came out of necessity, right? Like I said, we had no idea what we were doing when we first started. We were like, all right, let's sell some rangefinders, see what happens. And then as we continued to grow and continue to pick up steam, we were like, all right, well, we have all these customers who love our products, love our brand. Like, what else can we sell them, right? Like you mentioned before, I'm not trying to really get into apparel, not really trying like we have hats and like little other accessories like that, but like nothing as big as our speaker business. So um started just getting some speakers made and released them Novembers ago, I believe, right before the holidays, and it just took off through direct to consumer and through our wholesale business because it's such a unique price point. We can logo them for tournaments and corporate events and things of that nature. So people just eat those up because you go to so many tournaments, you get a hat, you get a polo, you get a sleeve of balls, right? And for that price, that all in, like you could get a sweet speaker, and it just changes up and kind of elevates your event that much more. So
Shindig.
That's sweet.
we yeah, so we came out with the dart back in November of 22, I guess now, 21. And now we have the sound stick that we released this year, and it's been great. People are loving them.
The sound stick I've used every round I've played.
Love
And I
that.
love it. I've never had to charge it. Well, I charged it when I got it. I should say that.
Out of the box, it lasts for like
Yeah.
3 years.
No,
No charging.
no. First of all, out of the box, I didn't realize how loud it was gonna be. So like I just immediately played a song and like my room shook and I was like, oh, I should
Shook your room? The
I have a
subwoofer is
small
like
room. I have a small room. I live in like a Harry Potter size room. My parents don't like me. That's a lie. That's a lie. They love me. Sometimes. But that magnet, I was like, holy shit, that's a magnet and a half.
It's not falling off. You can like we shake the cart with it. And that's, I
And
mean, that's
I'm
what, like I said,
and like I'm notorious for like losing things that I leave attached to the cart. I love how big it is because I'm like, there's no way I'm forgetting this.
yeah.
And it's just like if I forget it, that's on me at this point. But
yeah, it's like how much bigger can you make it where you're not gonna see? You know what I mean? It's probably
right,
part of the thought that went into it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a part, I mean, the colors too, right? Like
Yeah.
that's one other reason why people love the colors so much is because like you go out, old black, gray, old dusty rangefinders, right?
Blends
They
in with the
blends in with the cart.
so if you're golfing with your non-pinned golf friends, are you just like
do you just not like them anymore?
no, it's more or less like do they just
No.
assume like are you the guy like have like four like rangefinders in there just like or like you always have the speaker and they're always like, hey,
Yeah.
what's my yardages? They don't need to bring
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I have like 4 or 5 in my car. So like if I'm driving to the course, like all my buddies will just snag one and use it for the round. But yeah, no, I'm definitely that guy.
sure. That kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
Although that's
Yeah.
kind of me with like
Snacks.
snacks, but then it's like
Yeah.
I always have like 15 ball markers.
Yeah, there's no shortage of those.
No.
Do
Yeah.
you see like uh how should I word this? Like as far as like technology goes, like I feel like there's always changes and everything. Like do you see any like new change that you potentially could input or put in a new rangefinder? Like I know you
Like
have pretty much everything
how
already.
has the rangefinder market started to like expand? Because there's now newer like AI and new features in cell
Hmm.
phones every year. I I think Derek's trying to ask like how is the rangefinder market expanding? How is
Yes.
it?
Is technology
Yeah.
changing at all for the better?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I
for
hope it's
sure.
not getting worse.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, realistically, like rangefinders are still relatively new in the game of golf,
Hmm.
right? Like they're not that old. So like they're constantly getting better. Our tech is constantly getting better. Even just in the 5 different models that we've had, like I've used even this year, right? Just to kind of go out and we have some in our office. Like I'll just play around with like the first model and then just immediately go to the Prism Plus and I'm just like it's wild how much it's changed in such a short period of time. But like, yeah, I mean, technology is not obviously never going anywhere, right? And especially in the game of golf, it's only going to continue to grow because it's helping people get better at golf, right? Like the last thing you want to do is continue to suck at golf for years on years on years and just waste money, never get better, right? So like if technology can help people and now the younger generation are growing up, they're more tech savvy, they want tech in their hands as much as possible. They're getting it at an earlier age, right? Like it's only going to continue to grow
Yeah.
and get better. And what does that look like from a rangefinder perspective, right? We're still trying to figure that out also. Like we
Sure.
we have definitely tons of brainstorming sessions and product roadmaps and things of that nature of okay, where do we think that this is going to go, right? Like how else can we differentiate ourselves, right? Like is it more going down the GPS route as opposed to just the point and shoot laser route? Is it implementing this sort of technology in another sort of device, you know, it's definitely hard to tell. I think we have a pretty good grasp on our product roadmap. I mean, we have a great grasp on it, and we know where we're going with that. But in terms of like the rangefinder market as a whole, there's a lot out there. You know, I think AI will definitely play a part of it in some capacity at some point. It's just, I mean, it's going to be in every sort, every piece of tech that's out there eventually, right? It's going to become so universal and so beneficial that it's only going to help all of our products. So
I don't even understand how rangefinders work.
You make a good point though.
Like, I can't imagine. Like, oh,
I mean, the technology has grown quite a bit because like you played 5, 10, or not to say 5, but like 10, 15 years ago. I mean, you'd be lucky to have somebody that had a rangefinder on you or
exactly.
with you like in a group of
Yeah.
4. Like it was pretty rare to have. So yeah, you make a good point where I mean, we have
Yeah.
grown quite a bit in the technology side, but most of the technology, the dollars were being spent on a high-end driver. Right now, we're actually so the technology is now people are like, well, hey, this is actually can help my game
Yeah.
because I feel like most people struggle with their irons and wedges versus I mean, people do struggle with their driver, but you get in 100 yards in or 50
Yeah.
yards in, that's
Oh, I mean,
it's key.
that's how you get better, right? Right there.
Exactly.
It
Yep.
just it's I forget what pro it was, but he was just like, forget hitting the driver at the driving range. Like just go hit a bucket of balls
Yep.
from 100 yards in. Go
Wedges.
chip from 25 yards off the green. Just chip from around the green and putt. Like that's how you get better at golf, and that's how you shave strokes. So
For sure.
yeah, I mean, even just from our first model, right? It didn't even have slope. Now we have slope. Like that slope's such a game changer. It's obviously illegal in tournament play for a reason, right? Because it's so beneficial
Advantage.
to
Mhm.
to know the elevation and to know, okay, am I going to club up or am I going to club down here? So
For sure. Do you so as far as like the technology side, you know, we don't really know what that's going to look like in the near future, but as far as like colors, do you guys see yourselves adding more colors in the near future? Is that probably like your next move as far as the rangefinders?
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's become a brand that it's become part of our brand, right? Like
Sure.
our brand identity is just having fun out on the golf course and getting better. And I think the colors of rangefinder specifically help just that, right? You're having fun, vibrant colors, and getting better with the rangefinder. So yeah, so you'll definitely see some new colorways from us, beginning of the year into just all throughout next year, and a big thing that we're working on now is partnering up with some other brands to do some special collabs. We did some with the four all girls last year. We did some with Pins and Aces last year also, and they did super well. You know, so
That was literally going to be my next question.
how do we do a safe par one?
Yeah, I've got to
Barbie,
do a safe par one down the road with the
Yeah.
red, man. The red would be sick. For
Hold
yeah,
on, let's do like not red because they have a red one.
white with the red logo.
yeah, done.
Do something.
Well,
But we
Yeah,
do have a shindig coming up. So that'd be something that'd be, maybe we can talk about. Be
all
kind
right,
of cool for
yeah.
prizes.
Let me know.
I actually, if you don't know what the shindig is, we call it that's what we call our tournament.
Yeah.
I,
Just
I
scramble event.
Okay,
yeah,
okay. Some people when we say that they're like, "Fuck's a shindig?"
yeah, yeah.
Funny enough, we have shindig shirts.
That's
on.
funny. Yeah, we
Yeah,
didn't even actually plan that, but
I
no, I
did.
like that.
yeah.
His
Well,
doesn't say shindig, but
no.
mine does.
And says
So like where do you see your guys' company?
Hey,
Yeah. So, next year to like 5 years, where would you like to see your company?
dual-handed rangefinders. Well, you know what those
yeah,
are? Binoculars.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah. Neuralinked chip inside your brain to just
Yeah.
tell you
Oh
where you
God.
are away in your eye. You know, that's where we're going. You want to know where the tech's going? That's where it's going.
That's where it's
Um,
going. Yeah. Chips.
yeah, exactly. That's a great question. I mean, I think again, we're having a blast building pin golf. Just I get to go in the office every day and hang out and work with three of my best friends now, and just the team that we've been able to build and we're going to continue to build is just it's great. So I think you're going to see a lot of new product development from us, but towards the end of this year and into next year also, whether that's actually I'm not even going to say whether
Okay.
where we're
Yeah.
going.
No,
Um,
excited. Well, we'd like to have you on again down the road. We can talk
yeah,
about that.
exactly.
He's gonna have
I'm
like
all
night
about it.
vision goggles that are gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah, night
but
rangefinder for night
yeah,
golf.
no,
Yeah.
no. I think we're gonna we want to stay within the golf tech space. I think it's
Sure.
becoming more and more popular, as we have alluded to many times on this call. And it's just becoming more and more relevant within golf specifically. And we've sort of cemented our name within golf as affordable, quality golf tech products, and I don't see any reason to stray away from that. Um, and that's what we're just going to keep doing. We're going to keep
Sure.
innovating. We're going to keep developing new products that help people play better golf, and have more fun on the golf course. So, um, and that's all tech enabled. So, that's where 3, 5 years down the line, I think again we've grown a business pretty much off the back of 2 products, and
Yeah,
I'll give it like 1.5 products, right? Because we only had speakers for the last
sure.
year and a half. So having a
And you guys
full
have grown
product
quite a
line-
bit within the last few
yeah,
years. I mean, you guys
yeah,
have done a really good job.
yeah.
Um,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, like
Just a
full
few
product.
more quick questions, and then we'll do some rapid fire questions. But as far
Love it.
as like you're in the golf space, golf tech space, how much golf do you actually get out and play?
Um, I don't think as much. Well, funny story. When I first quit my full time job to do this full time, I was like, I told all my buddies, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be playing golf all the time, like every week. Gotta go out product testing, this, that. And what I realized was just like, yeah, I'm not playing as much golf as I would hope.
Sure.
This year we just joined a course here in the greater Boston area, called Granite Links. So it's like 10 minutes from our office. So like this year I've played a decent amount of golf. Um, but not as much as I'd like.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Like I got in the sales position. I'm like, oh, this is great. Take customers out like every day. And it's like, nope, I played the least amount of golf this last year than I have
Yeah.
like since I started actually playing golf.
You know, it's funny because like I'm the opposite because
Yeah.
I'm the one who does all the like the unboxing videos like and the reviews. I'm not saying you don't, but it's like I'm like, oh, cool, I got a product. I'm gonna go play around with it, whether it's
Yeah.
in like my front yard because I forgot, or it's just like at like this little 9-hole course. I get to go out and play with products, and I'm like, this is so cool.
It is fun to be able to do that.
I feel like that's helped me play more
Sure.
because now it's like, cool, I'm gonna go try to sneak in.
Now I have a reason to go play.
Yeah, it's like now I have a reason to really try to go like sneak in and see if I can get like the little rangefinder stuff done. And I will say, I did one of the rounds I played was like a 9-hole course with the Prism. I feel like such a hardo shooting like par 3 courses with like a rangefinder just for me to overdrive the green.
Hey, you got to do it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just
that's
That
what it's for,
happened.
though. That's
That
what it's for.
happened. I remember it was a course that I grew up playing, and I shot it. I'm like, okay, cool. So, and when I was growing up, I'm like, cool. We always say driver on this, and it's hole 2 at Majestic.
Yep, I know what you're talking
And
about.
you know, there's a house right behind there.
Yep.
Do you know I almost hit that house?
Rate your Wheaties that day.
I don't like no. And I looked at it. I'm like, I'm not even gonna play it. That's gone. I walked straight to hole 3.
Uh, Alex, is there anything that you want to add? Otherwise, we'll just ask a few, like I said, rapid fire questions. But is there something that maybe we missed that you might want to talk about?
uh, no, not really. I
Okay.
think again, did a pretty great questions of sort of how we started, where we've
Sure.
grown.
I do wanna
Yeah,
I do wanna add just one thing. We
go
were
for it.
looking at the bundles you guys have on your website. How the hell are they that affordable? Because like there's a Caddy Plus, you get a speaker, you get a portable charger, and then you get a rangefinder, and it's like $300. Right? I mean, right now it's on sale, or maybe that's like the bundle price, but
Yeah,
I was telling Derek before we got on, I'm like, man, if I'm a new golfer and I see that, I'm hooked
yeah,
immediately. I don't know how you guys keep it so affordable, but like that blew my mind. So like good fucking job. That
yeah,
is that's like that value is unreal because the speaker alone is what, 70, $80?
yeah. The little dart, exactly.
Yeah. And then I mean the Prism is 260 and then the portable charger is like 50.
Yeah,
That's unreal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, since the beginning, we've we've just wanted to make this more accessible to the masses, right? So whether it was coming out with a $175 rangefinder when we first started in the Pearl, and we've gotten a little bit more expensive over the years, but that's just because our cost to make these products has increased just because the quality has increased, right? So but yeah, I mean, we're until we no longer are part of this company, which I don't ever see happening, like affordability is going to always be a pillar of pinned golf, and that's just who we are. It's just too expensive, you know, and it's just there's no reason that we can sit here and charge $500, $600 for a rangefinder when I know exactly what the big box are getting their products made for, and just to see the sort of the markup on that, I'm just like, well, you guys have been doing this for so long, and I know that's why you are able to do this. And again, I'm not going to say the big name brands products aren't good, because they are, right? They are who they are for a reason, but like there's the sort of markups that they're making on it are outrageous.
Insane. Yeah. Okay, just a quick couple rapid fire questions. The first one here is, what is your favorite color on your rangefinder that you offer?
Um, Currently navy. Of all time, we had a Carolina blue one with our Prism, our OG.
Yeah, seen that one. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a
So
nice
that was
color.
my favorite one of all time.
I will say, I know I complained I didn't get the pink one. The black one is sleek. That thing is slick looking with the white. That
Yeah.
thing, it looks really nice on the cart. And I have not lost it or left it yet.
Knock on
Um,
wood.
do you have a favorite favorite Instagram account besides yours? Doesn't have to be golf related, just be any account.
Well, he thinks about that. What's your favorite color for the rangefinder?
I like the green.
Yeah, I gave you the green speaker.
Yeah,
Damn it. I should
I
have
love
kept
that
it.
green.
My favorite is Safe Park Golf.
Oh man, you're so
You're the
sweet.
first person to say it.
All right, there we go. What a great
Wrap it
answer.
up.
All
Yeah,
right.
you
Dom, you
guys
can ask this
appreciate
one.
you having me.
What's your favorite IG page?
Pinned golf.
Damn, look at that.
Look at this.
Mine is kids getting hurt.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. If you don't follow it, you need a good laugh. God, I hate kids.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not gonna
it's
say
hole
that.
one, biggest tournament of your life. What's the walk-up song?
Ooh, Bring them out by Ti.
Ooh, that was a
Ooh,
quick answer. That was a solid answer.
that's a good
I
one.
love that.
I'll
I'm gonna go with that same one. I would piggyback that just because that's a great answer.
That ooh,
it's in my head. I was at a wedding 2 weekends ago, and
Fresh in your mind still.
it's fresh in my mind. The bride and
they
groom
played
were my
Get 'Em
good friends.
Out at the wedding.
They said they played Bring 'Em Out as they like came onto the dance floor for the first
Yeah,
time.
Hell yeah.
that's
Shout out
sweet.
Beat
I
the
would
Wind.
stay for that wedding. I hate
Yeah,
weddings, but I would if they're like, hey, we're gonna like I'm staying.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
it was cool.
what favorite golf course that you've played and favorite golf course that you would like to play besides like St. Andrews or Augusta? And you might have played St. Andrews, but
No, yeah. Favorite one I'd like to play is Pebble.
okay.
I want to play Pebble. And favorite one I have played. I was just having this conversation a couple weeks ago. What did I say it was? Oh, I got to play Pinehurst number 10 this year.
Ooh.
I got to go down there for the US Open, and I got to play Pinehurst number 10 and Tobacco Road. So like those are two top five for me. If you haven't played Tobacco Road, it's
I,
So
incredible.
it looks amazing.
our guy Greg with the Pinehurst Six plays a lot of those courses. And every time he plays Tobacco Road, I get a little jealous. Because like I'm not good at like the easy courses, but like the courses that everybody's like afraid of, for some reason I go in and just like
like
tear them
fun.
up. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I'm so unserious that like
Just grabs a club and go.
well, like it doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
Rip
But
in
I'm
the
just
rip.
like, fuck it, let's just go. Tobacco
Yeah.
Road looks like one of those courses that would eat me alive, but I'd have so much fun.
It
Oh,
looks
it's a
amazing.
blast. It's like
Yeah.
it's wild golf. It's golf like I'd never played before. It's like it was incredible. So
It
yeah,
it
I think
is not to like bring up price wise, but I mean, is it like a couple $100 to play that? Is it pretty affordable or is it pretty expensive?
I believe it was a couple $100. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie, I got invited to go down and
Oh,
play, so
nice.
it wasn't
But
on.
still, it's one of
So,
those that
well,
you would
well,
spend a couple hundred
yeah,
dollars to
yeah.
play it
So
though,
here's
right?
here's the test.
Yeah,
Would you pay to play it?
yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to hear in my life.
I'm gonna ask one more question, then Dom will wrap it up with a food question. We'll call it good. But I'm just curious, what is your favorite club in your bag right now?
Oh, good question. Probably my 50-degree wedge.
I love my 52. That's
Love
that's
that.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Is that like a 100, 120 in kind of a club?
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
115, 120. I'm hitting that every single time, and it's
I
great.
love it.
I got a 4 iron.
Four in?
Yeah, no, I got one
Did you?
because I didn't have one for years because I broke it.
That's right. All right. So we end it with a food question. Dom, you can answer however you want. Restaurant, food, whatever you want.
So here's how I'm gonna do it. We come to your neck of the woods, whether that's Boston, Greater Boston, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Take us through it. Where are we going? That smirk means
He's got something
he's got something cooking.
something good.
And then what we'll do is we'll compare your answers with Brendan's. That way we can see who's more Boston.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I forget where he's from. I'm from Connecticut, so I'm a transplant. So I can't.
To be fair, I
I'm
don't
from
think Brendan is from Boston.
No,
I think he I
same.
think he just
he's
claims
close.
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
he's like
agree.
near Rhode Island. if I
Brian
remember.
might be from Boston.
Yeah.
All right. So breakfast.
He's gonna text me be like, bro, I'm from Boston.
Um, breakfast. There's a bunch of good like brunch spots. So like so I'll give you like neighborhoods. I'm not gonna give you like an actual restaurant because there's too many, right? So
Mhm.
the South End for like a brunch. Bunch of good spots down there. And then lunch, we could wander on over to the seaport. So they have like a couple good Mexican places, a lot of good seafood places. And then for dinner, we're gonna hit the North End, which is just like Little Italy. It's just Italian spots after Italian spots after Italian spots, and I'm Italian, so I live like a 10-minute walk from there, so I find myself over there quite frequently.
I love that. Getting a little full spread Italian,
Yeah, a little
Mexican
bit everything.
food, some seafood, whatever. Yeah, that's awesome.
And then brunch, like
And brunch, yeah, breakfast
yeah,
food,
you
brunch.
get absolutely hammered on the mimosas. You go wander off to the seaport, you fall in the ocean a little bit, and then you get pulled out, and away you go.
Yeah.
Actually, is there an ocean over there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't. That my geography sucks. I've never even seen.
No,
an
your
ocean.
driver doesn't suck. Your math sucks.
That does suck too. Yeah, I've never even seen an ocean. We don't have those here.
Alec, man, it's been a pleasure having you on. Hopefully, we can have you out again down the road.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, keep up the great work, man. Look forward to talking to you again.
Gents, appreciate you. It was a blast.
Yep.
And, we'll
Yep.
definitely have to do this again.
For sure, man. Take care.